The city of Nice, located on France's prestigious Côte d'Azur, has always been a popular destination for lovers of sun, sea and luxury. This beautiful city, with its charming combination of old world and modern luxury, offers a wealth of cultural and natural beauty that attracts visitors from all over the world. Nice is one of the oldest cities in the Mediterranean, and its history dates back more than 2,000 years. The city was ruled by various peoples, including the Romans and Savoyards, and later became a popular destination for European aristocrats. During the 19th The most important building in Nice and one of the most popular cultural monuments in France is the Russian Cathedral of St. Nicholas. It is the largest Russian Orthodox church outside of Russia. It has a very unusual history. Our team of journalists has been given permission to film the interior. It's a privilege that is rarely obtained. One of the mysterious stories related to this cathedral involves an alleged relationship with the last Russian Tsar, Nicholas II.
I start my visit usually with the words that this is the biggest Russian Orthodox church in Europe, outside former Russian Empire, and the most beautiful in the world. We are sure about it. The cathedral was built in 1912, so the construction was during 9 years, from 1903 till 1912. Half of the money was given by the last emperor of Russia, Nicholas II. But himself, he never came to Nice. He didn't have this chance. But the story of this place starts much earlier, even in the 18th century. Well, at least in 1865, the day that you noticed at the entrance to our garden. Because in 1865 there was a tragic event in Nice, the death of the Crown Prince of Russia. We will visit later the chapel behind the cathedral, built to his memory. And then this garden was bought by the father of Tsarevich Nicholas, Alexander II. And at the beginning of the 20th century, when Russian population became very important in Nice, Nicholas II gave this garden to the church for the construction of the new cathedral. So the interior decoration and the cathedral was built and decorated in Art Nouveau style that was very popular at that time. The flowers on the walls represent the world of God, the kingdom of heaven. The iconostasis was constructed by famous jewelers in gold-plated bronze. Was made by the famous jewelers at the time, brothers Khlebnikov.
According to some legends, the emperor is said to have given special instructions on the construction of the cathedral, and the dome is considered a symbolic reminder of his reign and the imperial family. There is a theory that the dome, given its shape and decoration, can be interpreted as a reminder of the sunken world Tsarism. Some historians suggest that this could be related to ideas about Russia's mystical power and its rise from the ashes to golden heights, especially in light of current historical events in the world.
The temple was designed by Mikhail Preobrazhensky. He was an architect with a particular interest in symbolism and the metaphysical aspects of architecture, which is reflected in his projects. In this context, his actions can be associated with certain occult and symbolic influences. For example, the use of domes in the Russian Orthodox style, which have a deep religious meaning but also the symbolism of cosmic energies, can be associated with ideas about the cosmos and cosmic cycles. In Orthodox symbolism, they represent the 5 wounds of Christ or the 5 fingers of the hand used for blessing. The Cathedral of St. Nicholas in Nice, which was built by Russian emigrants at the beginning of the 20th century, is shrouded in various legends and stories. Although not as well known as some other European religious sites, its connection to Russia, Tsars, emigres, and spiritual life provides rich material for many mysteries and legends.
So the iconostasis was created by famous jewelers at the time, brothers Khlebnikov. Khlebnikovs were as famous as Fabergé, for example, at the time. The project was made by the artist. His name was Leonid Pianowski. He was of Polish origin. And the interior decoration, the project of the interior decoration was also made by Leonid Pianowski. The iconostasis is made in gold-plated bronze. The icons were painted by the famous artist at that time, Alexander Glazunov. In this cathedral, many of the icons were brought, especially the big icons, were brought before the revolution, so during the construction of the cathedral, and even before, because the Russian community was very important since the middle of the 19th century in Nice. But most of the icons, especially the little ones, were brought after the Bolshevik Revolution by the emigrants. There were thousands of Russian people who arrived here, and they were happy to have a big church, to have the possibility to come and pray in this church. There is still the big Russian community in Nice and around Nice. In our parish, there are several nationalities. We have people also from Serbia, from Bulgaria, Georgia, Moldavia, many Ukrainians. I'm Ukrainian, and Russian people, of course. So the population is very important, and the parish is the biggest Russian Orthodox parish in contemporary France. There were thousands of Russian people who arrived here after the Bolshevik Revolution, and there are still the descendants of this wave of immigration. And in our parish also there are several families. Before they were counts and princesses, but now they are coming for the services, and they are still have the possibility to pray here, and we are happy to be next to them in this place. And so there are many icons that were donated by the Russian emigrants. For example, we have this beautiful icon of the Virgin Mary. Its name is Our Lady of Kazan. But it was painted for this cathedral at the order of a very famous lady. The lady, her name was Natalia Shadelska. She ordered this icon especially for this cathedral. Unfortunately, she died even in 1904. She is buried at the Russian cemetery in Nice. There is a big cemetery, the biggest after Saint-Geneviève-des-Bois in Paris, in Nice. So the ladies from the parish gave their jewelry to decorate this frame. We can find the pearls, the rubies, and other precious and semi-precious stones, and beneath everything is entirely painted. And the particularity of this icon is also that from any corner of the cathedral, when you're looking at the Virgin Mary, she's looking at you also like Mona Lisa. A little bit sad that she's watching us. There are many beautiful icons in this cathedral, very ancient icons. For example, one in front of you, its name is Our Lady of Jerusalem. Very colorful. It was painted by the monk from the mountain of Athos, from the monastery of mountain of Athos for this cathedral. In the middle, the Annunciation of the Virgin Mary one of the rare icons here that were painted already after the Bolshevik Revolution in 1920s to the memory of the Emperor Nicholas II. And next icon, it's a little bit strange, almost black with the drops, represents St. Nicholas. This is our main icon, and this is a miraculous one. Many people are coming just to pray in front of it. Actually, this icon belonged to Tsarevich Nicholas, the Crown Prince of Russia, who died in Nice in 1865. And after the construction of the chapel, at the beginning, it was put there over the entrance and was hanging on the sun during several years. And it was spoiled. It became absolutely black. You couldn't see any image on it during half a century, till 1935. And in 1935, at the eve of the 22nd of May, there was a miracle when this icon cleared itself. It was a process of several days. There were many witnesses. And since then, we can see the image. The drops are probably vanished, but there is no scientific explanation of what happened. One of the main icons in our cathedral is this one, Our Lady of the Dawn. And it was embroidered, entirely embroidered by hand and decorated with river pearls. It was the younger sister of Nicholas II who did it. Grand Duchess Ksenia Alexandrovna, Великая княгиня Ksenia Alexandrovna. As you know, she lived after the Bolshevik Revolution. She lived in Denmark, then in London. She died in 1960 at the age of 85. But this icon she embroidered before the revolution because she spent several winter seasons with her family in Nice. And it's magnificent. You will visit the chapel. We have a family of rabbits, about 10 at this moment. Their territory, their home. They're afraid of nothing. So, as I told you, the history of this place starts in 1865. There was a tragic event, tragic for Russia, the death of the Crown Prince. His name was Nicholas, Tsarevich Nicholas, Cesarevich. Nicholas, he was 21 years old. He was the eldest son of the Emperor Alexander II. So he was preparing to become the Emperor Nicholas II. It was his turn. When he arrived to Nice, he had a backache. He couldn't even walk. And it was discovered too late that he was suffering from meningitis. He is dead on the 24th of April, 1865. All this happened in the big villa, big house that's situated where there is a chapel now. And the chapel was built 3 years later after his death, because Alexander II decided that nobody can live in this house. The house was demolished and he built the chapel to the memory of his son, in white marble, in white stone, in Byzantine style. And the chapel is situated in the place where was the room of Tsarevich Nicholas when he died. And especially in front of you, there is this place in black marble. This plate in black marble marks the place where was his bed when he died. He's not buried here, of course. His body was transferred immediately to St. Petersburg, where he was buried with all the family of Romanovs. The chapel is memorial.
because of the dedication of Saint Nicholas, the patron saint of sailors and travelers. There is a legend that connects this church with numerous miraculous salvations. The story goes that many sailors and travelers, who traveled through France and Mediterranean waters, visited this cathedral in hopes of protection and divine intervention. People believe that Saint Nicholas, through the mediation of this cathedral, intervened in many misfortunes and storms, providing security and peace to those who prayed before his icons. Today, St. Nicholas Cathedral in Nice remains under the jurisdiction of the Moscow Patriarchate, but disputes over its ownership and spiritual jurisdiction are still ongoing. There are tensions between the Russian Orthodox Church and other Orthodox communities in Western Europe, which sometimes creates problems in the daily religious life of believers. As Nice has developed as a tourist destination, St. Nicholas Cathedral has become a must-see in tourist programs, as well as a local gathering place for Orthodox believers.
As Nice has developed as a tourist destination, St. Nicholas Cathedral has become a must-see in tourist programs, as well as a local gathering place for Orthodox believers. Its presence in the daily life of Nice, as well as its deep cultural and mystical value, have made it one of the most revered monuments not only of tourists but also of the inhabitants of France themselves, who have included this shrine among the most important cultural monuments in the territory of the French Republic.